today's presentation was really inspired by the work not only of Vibrant Hawaii, but of course by the Blue Zones work that we as a county were blessed to be a part of. So a real quick recap, we're going to jump into what determines wellness and longevity. And I'm going to take everyone through that, not only with the Blue Zones project work that we've completed as a county. We had 3 communities for those who don't know. North Hawaii, East Hawaii, and then West Hawaii. Because all 3 communities participated in that project, we were able to obtain and achieve a really special place in the Blue Zones project. And so we'll go ahead and move forward, Cole. So recently I've been attending various conferences and workshops, and I recently learned that 60% stat right there. But before I talk a little bit about that 60%, the question I want to ask all of you is, what determines the length of your lifespan? And one thing that we learned in Blue Zones Project was it really stopped me in my tracks. And that fact was, for the first time in history, due to the health challenges of our society, of our communities, of our world, our children's lifespan. So think about it. All of us who are mommies and daddies on this call, or aunties and uncles, our children's lifespan will be shorter than that of our lifespan. Isn't that powerful? That stopped me in my tracks, that caught my attention. And when I was a part of the Blue Zones Project team, that really helped to propel my work forward and commit to the work and the kuleana for completing this project. And so what we learned in Blue Zones Project is there is a longevity study done. National Geographic took a team of scientists around the world to find the 5 places on the planet that are living to the age of 100 and beyond. And you can Google Blue Zones Project to find out more, but for the sake of this talk story here, I'll just share that the Danish twin study showed that our lifespan, how long a person lives, is due only 20% to genetics. And so here in Hawaii, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, we know it's a fact that we are often challenged by chronic conditions like diabetes or hypertension, high blood pressure. I know I certainly grew up with my grandma who was challenged, my mother who was challenged. Some of us over time believe, oh, okay, if grandma had it, if papa had it, I'm gonna have it. I have no chance to live a long, thriving life. Well, this study showed that only 20% is due to genes. So what's the other percentage? It's the 80% that you see here. And this is what we learned in Blue Zones Project through the studies of National Geographic longevity scientist and Dan Buettner, the Blue Zones Project scholar that traveled the planet. And so when we look at that 20%, 80% is up to us. So choosing to be a part of Vibrant Hawaii, choosing to connect with the right tribe, the right individuals, this allows us to look at our habits, to participate, to have a voice, to take a seat at the table. That's something Janice and I often talk about, and Sally, and now Cole and Joy, having a seat at the table to make change. Now, this is something interesting. The 60% of our lifespan is due to our zip code. Think about that. I recently attended, and Milton Cortez, Chief Operations Officer for Hamakua Health Center, I know is on this call today. Mahalo nui, Milton. We learned at that conference, Journey to Our Island Healthcare, Journey Back to Our Island Home Healthcare conference, that 60% of our lifespan is due to our zip code. So what does that all mean? When we take a look at where we live, learn, work, and play, it's powerful. Vibrant Hawaii exists to look at what we have, not what we lack. And so we can go forward. Cole, please, thank you. Just for the fun of it, preparing for today, I just wanted to capture the zip codes of Hawaii County. 32 zip codes. Based on what I just talked about, 32 opportunities to impact a person's life, starting with us. And I think this ties in beautifully with our grounding statement, our reflection today. We have to be courageous to ask questions. Why does this neighborhood lack clean water, safe spaces for our keiki to play, a friendship bench just to talk story, a lo'i to connect, to grow, to sustain food, aina, people, Okay, 32 zip codes. So my reflection question that you can um, dabble into later this afternoon when you have time. Think of the zip codes you have lived in your lifespan, not only in Hawaii County, but where have you lived across the nation, across the world? Okay. We can go forward, cool. So Hawaii County with our 32 zip codes. Again, where you live is one of the most significant components of overall health outcomes and life expectancy. As we think of the work of Vibrant Hawaii, as we think of the work in each of your respective areas, we are contributing to someone's lifespan each and every day simply by the work that we do, by showing up and committing to our kuleana. This National Community Reinvestment Coalition, if anybody wants to look into it further, powerful website. This was the data shared at our recent healthcare conference Milton and I attended. Next slide, please, Cole. As we know, County of Hawaii, we have extremely talented communities. We have extremely diverse needs. Recently, our census 2020 revealed in the entire union, guess which county was the most diverse? Hawaii County. Powerful, powerful. If there is a need that you see that is not being tended to, speak out. That will go to what Janice just shared in terms of our core teams. If there's a passion project, these are just some of the 7 groups that I specifically work with Frankie Segra. He's on this call. He's a community health worker from Kosrae. He represents our KOFA groups. And Frankie is a leader and a bridge to serve some of our Pacific Islanders who now call Hawaii County their home, where they're learning new ways of living, doing, and being in a new system, in a new place. We also have Lauren Lindbergh on this call. He works with our justice-involved youth, our at-risk youth, working with Going Home Hawaii. I see Trillium on this call as well. Our at-risk populations. As a federally qualified health center, West Hawaii Community Health Center, we exist to help those who are marginalized. And we know those who are marginalized are often pushed aside. We don't have access to resources, experiences, or opportunities, which is why the work of Vibrant Hawaii is so critical to what we are doing in our respective roles. And so I ask you, what other areas or at-risk populations are you helping to move forward and to support and uplift? Next slide, please. Just for those who haven't been a part of the Blue Zones Project, as a workplace, as a school, as a church, as a, let's see, a volunteer group, Dan Buettner, this is Dan Buettner. This is the National Geographic scholar that was blessed to travel around the world by National Geographic team of longevity scientists support. The group Hui here, this is our leadership team. Many of these leaders here who oversaw the project in each of our 3 counties were essential to carrying out the work that we did. And as a county, we were able to achieve the title of the first countywide blue zone in the country. And later it became in the world. Blue zones was just offered throughout the nation. And at that time, we were the first entire county. And so on the mainland, you have larger counties made up of different communities. Our 3 communities under 1 county, we achieved that. And so I share this with all of you to recognize the significance of who we are here on Hawaii Island. In this particular project, we truly were leading the way for others to follow. And at the time, the project just moved into other areas around the world. Next slide, please. So Blue Zone's Power 9 principles. These are the 9 practices that help people live longer. And I want each of you to just take a look at purpose. If you know your purpose, we did a Richard Leiter purpose workshop last year through Vibrant Hawaii. We have that on YouTube. I believe Janice has links to that as well. Right hui, studies show that when you hang out with the right people, you start to emulate those behaviors. Kind of like what we tell our keiki, be careful who you hang out with, or make good choices. Same for us as adults. Ohana first, spending time with family helps us to not only recognize our kuleana, but it also provides us that support and belonging. Belong is just recognizing who that higher source is for you. Is it nature? Is it God? Is it Buddha? Is it just being alive? Is it a stream? Is it Vai? Where is your water? Where's your connection? Is it the Mauna? Moving naturally, finding ways to just move naturally and get exercise. Yes, studies show that helps us to live longer, better. 80% rule in blue zones, it stressed to eat more vegetables in addition to our other treats. And because I stated the fact that our children's lifespan will be shorter than that of any of ours, recognizing just balancing the plate, right? Balancing the plate, eating until we're full. Many of us in Hawaii, I certainly know we did, grow up learning, finish everything on your plate. And if there's more food at the luau, go get more food on the plate. Well, studies are showing it's okay to moderate and eat in balance of what we're selecting and how we're choosing so that we have energy. Plant slant, again, encouraging more vegetables in our diet. Wine at 5, there was a blue zone, Sardinia, Italy, that made their own homemade red wine. KTA sells that. It's kind of now red wine. Studies show that 2 to 4 ounces, not 24 ounces, 2 to 4 ounces, a little throughout the week will help to connect with others, will help you relax, will help you move forward in life. Downshifting, that's something that we all do naturally. We have beautiful beaches, we have beautiful hikes, we have beautiful places that are special to each and every one of us. How do we practice any of these principles in our life? And if we are not practicing, how might we practice moving forward in 2022? And how might we practice it island style? Right? This is what the study showed, but we have many of these that we can adapt to here in Hawaii. So what might that look like for you? Next slide, please. So these are just a few examples, and I spoke a little bit of a few of these examples: hiking, paddleboarding, working in the lo'i, spending time with kupuna, joining a halau or a lauhala weaving class, maybe waking up with an oli, a chant, connecting with source. And so wherever you are on this island, just recognize the special places that you have access to and how might you incorporate that island style for you in 2022. Yeah, next slide, please, Cole. That's the end of our mini ho'ike. And it was this mini ho'ike that we want to put a call to action, connect with Sally. It's this simple. Take what you are doing and just give 20 minutes of your time to talk story with this amazing hui. If you want to join us for the next meeting, please register. And I know Cole has already shared that link as well as Janice for our February 2nd. So mahalo nui, everyone.